Hey, what's up y'all? Just wanted to come to you real quick today. I got a really interesting video that I think is going to be educational for all of you, no matter what your grass type is. But this is definitely aimed at St. Augustine grass and then other warm season grasses that grow by stolons and rhizomes. And that's actually the key to understanding, because you guys up north, your grass doesn't grow like this. Check it out. All the New Yorkers that have recently moved to Florida are starting to look at their lawns and they're wondering, why is my St. Augustine grass growing at two different rates? Why is some of my grass growing, but then right next to it, other areas are not growing? Is there something wrong with it? Nope, nothing wrong with it at all. Let me explain to you why it's doing that, and it's really because of the growth habit that St. Augustine employs when it's taking ground. You see, warm season grasses are alpha grasses. They are born and bred to take ground. This is like turf thunderdome going on in here. And St. Augustine grass is especially aggressive with what are called stolons, and that's the key to understanding why some areas grow when others don't. So to illustrate a little better about what I'm talking about, and at the risk of major criticism, let me move down in here into the lawn. Sharpen your mower blade, man. Can you see how we have new growth here popping up? But then when you come over here, this area here hasn't grown at all. This has got a little bit of disease in it, and some of it's just because it's been cut wet too many times. I'll link up there to a video I did on that, but let me see if I can find a better spot, maybe over here in the sun. I think you'll be able to see it here. Well, there's some wild Bermuda in there too. Huh? Yeah, see, we all struggle with these things, but see how that is growing there, but then right here, there's an area that was cut that isn't grown. See, like right there, see that one? That one hasn't grown at all. But then right next to it, these have grown. I don't know if it'll come across on camera, but when you look down on this, you can see it with the naked eye. You can see a lot of growth, but then right next to it, a lot of no growth. And that's where people start worrying. Why is only some parts of my lawn growing? Is there something wrong? Come back over here in the shade because it's 100 degrees already and it's 8:30 in the morning. But let me just pull up and show you what's doing this and why. Now watch. Now some of you are gonna be scared by what comes out of here. Oh, look at that.
Can you fly, you sucker? Can you fly?
This is what you call a stoloconstrictor. So this is how St. Augustine takes ground. This is the business end. This is creeping all around, and as you can see, it's shooting up fresh grass blades. By the way, each one of these is called a node. And notice all that fresh growth down there at the end. That's because everything, all the energy is being pushed down here, so this continually can move through the lawn and take growth and take ground. And the reason that's happening now is because we're in the rainy season, which is telling it grow, grow, grow. As you move back here to the older end of the stolon, you'll see we're not getting very much, if any, growth. This is where the cuts are that aren't growing. That's because this is just now going to slough off eventually, and this is all going to just be supply line for the new stuff that's out here. And that's essentially how St. Augustine runs. Now sometimes these will keep grass blades on them much longer, other times they'll shed earlier and go slower. It just depends on how crowded and how much competition there is. But that's why you'll see some areas of the lawn growing and others not. But imagine these aren't spread out straight like this, they're all intertwined like that all together, bunches of them. So that's what you're seeing. Now, another thing that happens, and again, based on the growth habit is here, you see these are the grass blades. This is the crown right here. This is a node, this is the crown, and the grass blades come out of the crown, and these grass blades are what are called folded in the bud, as opposed to rolled in the bud. Either way, you can see these grass blades are ones that didn't grow. This one here in the middle did. So the grass plant is going to start sloughing these off as more come out, and so you're going to see that too, and that's why those aren't growing. They're just getting ready to get sloughed off, while more will start coming up out of the middle here of the crown. So that's another thing that you're seeing. And what will happen is, as these slough off, they turn brown, and people start thinking, my grass is dying, it's diseased. No, this is the natural growth habit. New stuff comes up, old stuff sloughs off, and falls down. By the way, and this is a free tip here, this is why you don't want to cut St. Augustine too low. Because if you're cutting up in here, you're okay, you're just cutting pure grass blades. But if you cut too low and cut down in here, you're cutting into the crown of the St. Augustine grass plant, and that will end up killing it. So that's why I always tell people mow as tall as you can, so that way you're not coming in and cutting down into the meat over down in here and cutting the knees off. One other thing real quick I want to tell you about and warn you about is that as the season goes on and we come out of the rainy season and we get more into the dry season, all of that flush of growth, it's going to start to back itself off when we get into winter, and a lot of that is going to turn brown, a lot of that new growth. And people will panic then and they'll think their lawn is dying, but no, it's just slowing down as days get shorter and as rain help is less and as heat is coming down. There's all these different factors that cause the grass to kind of shrink back. So don't be surprised. It's just how the year goes. It's just certain growth habits, certain growth cycles in the grass plant. It's very normal. Your job is just to keep controlling your controllables, mow often, bag the clippings when there's disease present, keep it watered when it needs it, and keep it fertilized every month or so as long as you're not in blackout. The good news is this is the angle that your neighbors all see, and they can't see any of that uneven growth from way back here. It's only you, when you get up and look straight down on it, that you then notice some areas aren't growing. By the way, here's some of that sloughing I was talking about earlier. See that? There's one that completely sloughed off and turned brown. That's all right, it's just part of the normal growth habit. So there you go. I hope that's been helpful to you. And again, you see when you dig in there, it is completely different than anything most of you have ever seen. But so many of you are moving down here, I think it's important for you to understand the way your grass grows, because when you notice the growth habit, it really changes your thinking on how you approach taking care of it, getting it thicker, getting it healthy, and above all, keeping it green. So hope this has been helpful to you. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much for watching these videos. Hit that like button for me if you would. I really appreciate that, and I'll see you in the lawn.